So you want to get better at chess? Well, you've come to the right place. What's up everybody, my name is Ita and I'm the Chess Geek from chessgeek.org. Today I'm sharing the most advanced chess tips that I know that will overall make you a better chess player and will help you get more chess wins. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss videos like these that are intended to improve your chess skills. And now let's dive straight into the first tip. Everyone knows the three basic rules of the opening: control the center, develop your minor and major pieces, and castle quickly. But there is a very important idea that a lot of people just forget to use when it comes to the opening. You want to land yourself ultimately at a comfortable and good position to continue the game after the opening. And that means that wherever you place your minor and major pieces, they need to be at a controlling spot, at an active spot that they will be able to then influence and attack and defend and just overall be a good piece later on in the game. So let's look at this developing sequence or just a very common opening. And this is all very intuitive moves. You can see here that already by move 10, you can see that white has a tremendous amount of development. You've castled, you have a lot of pieces on the board, but the important thing to understand is that all of the pieces are on relatively good squares. The knight here has a lot of influence when it comes to the center, and also a lot of influence when it comes to maybe attacking the king later on. This bishop has this nice diagonal where it will hopefully aim to attack the king, once again with the help of maybe a knight or even a queen. And this knight here is just a knight that currently can be able to reposition and be placed on a square where once again it will be able to attack. But also all of the pieces here are pieces that currently can defend a lot of squares on their own king's territory. So you can see that all of the pieces not only have gone developed, but have gone developed to good squares. Rather than, let's say, and this is a very extreme situation, sure, but let's say that you decide to develop all your pieces. I mean, hey, you're doing what I told you to do, but I mean, let's say you develop all your pieces like this. Well, now you see the difference. Here, none of your pieces really are aimed at attacking the king. None of your pieces are on good squares to defend and attack and just be at a comfortable position. So make sure when you're developing your pieces, think about later on, once you've castled, once your opponent has castled, how good will those pieces be? The next thing that I want to bring to your attention is incredibly important. In fact, a lot of the times that you lose material is because of this idea. The thing that I'm talking about is undefended pieces. The best way for me to explain this is using an example that I really like in the Danish Gambit. In general, the Danish Gambit is just super fun to play with, so I highly recommend you check it out. I have a video that I'll pop up right now if you're interested in learning about it. But basically, the Danish Gambit, you give up a couple of pawns to give yourself this double diagonal with your bishops. And now, some common move would be bishop to b4, just giving check. You can defend with the knight. Let's say they play this move. We'll now notice that black has a very big weakness, this undefended bishop. And when there's undefended bishops, that's a big weakness that you can try to take, you can try to punish. And same goes for you. If you have undefended pieces, your opponent can try to punish them. So here, this undefended bishop can be punished by this move here. Okay, now you're attacking the undefended bishop, so obviously that's a big threat. But you're also attacking this pawn here, which is defended, but it's not defended enough. So this would still be undeveloped or undefended. It still would be considered an undefended piece. So now you can notice that a lot of times when there is undefended pieces, this idea of double attacking can happen, and that's where your opponent starts to lose material, or in other cases, when you will start to lose material. So let's say black plays this move, which seems like the only way that black can try to get back in that position, because now this looks good. But obviously that's not how you will take. You will take back with the queen, and now you still have this pawn which you're attacking, and this undefended pawn, which will then lead to an undefended rook. So that whole attack really stemmed from this pretty bad move, because now, although yes, you're pushing an attack, that's going to be very easy to defend, and once all is said, this bishop is going to be undefended and is going to be a weakness for black. Okay, so always understand that when you're making attacks, or generally when you just push pieces out like this bishop here, you always want to make sure that you try to defend it as quickly as possible. So a common move when you move out the bishop is to move it here. So now it's defended by the pawn and the queen. Okay, so don't leave pieces undefended for too long, because that's when your opponent can start punishing you for it. The final thing that I want to help you with, and the final tip that I have, is trying to look for ways to attack rather than always being passive. And I can use the exact same example from the last tip, being the Danish gambit, for this one. In fact, I'll come to the exact same position where black decides to make this pretty bad move, although it does actually seem quite well. And here's the exact same position, okay? So here, some people as white would recognize that in the opening you want to develop your pieces and castle quickly. So they'll just develop a piece and get ready to castle. I mean, they don't have any pieces that are right now being attacked, and so there's no real worry. So they can just continue the development and getting ready to castle. But as you know, that is not the best move. The best move is to attack here. Okay, so I'm not always saying that you want to throw your pieces out there and form crazy attacks. But what I am saying is, rather than off the bat as a default just developing and castling, try to take a second or two to look at where there are weaknesses in your opponent, like undefended. I always mix those two up. Undefended pieces like this bishop here. And then again, just take a second or two to figure out how you can punish it. I mean, if there is a way that you can punish it, okay? So that will just definitely help you improve, because there's so many missed opportunities that people make just because they rush through the opening and just try to castle as quickly as possible. And once again, that is a great idea. You want to castle, you want to protect your king, but not instead of, well, winning pieces, okay? So always try to look for weaknesses and taking advantage of them, especially in the middle game, but even really early on in the opening. Thank you guys so very much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned some tips that will help you improve in your future games. If you have tips that you want me to include in future tip videos that you think will help other people, then leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely look at them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my brand new website at www.chessgeek.org. Thank you guys. I love you all, and peace out.